Welcome in, everybody. This is our final class together. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And all of you that have been participating in this immersion, I appreciate you, appreciate your efforts. It has been a gift and a pleasure to share this particular experience with you. Welcome, Marissa. Thanks for being here. Those of you that were able to participate in the chat, thank you. Your energy was felt and really helped me to continue to be inspired for in support of you and ultimately of this immersion as a whole. So thank you for participating. So what I'd like to do is do a short yoga warm-up so we can get deep into meditation today. Really just enough to feel good in the body, and that way you have this practice to come back to at a later date if you really want to go deeper. Okay, so you have this whole immersion for life, which is exciting, but this class in particular I think will be beneficial to do maybe once a week at least, if you want to go into your meditation practice and really get to the core of it. So as mentioned, we've got these 6 layered self, and how we tend to identify with each layer is what the 6 layered self can really help with. If we look at the outermost layer, which is our things, and we're putting too much attention outward, our home, our car, I remember when the first indication for me of really being having my attention outward, and maybe I was starting to become aware of it, was the addiction to buying guitars. I know my buddy Bryce is in this immersion and he remembers that. I would save up and work real hard so that I could buy these various guitars. Part of that was a drive to find the sound that I really wanted, and the other part of it was in hopes that if I got a certain guitar, maybe I would be the guitar player I was trying to become. And so that false identity with external things and that challenge that we face with the ego's attraction to attainment of stuff is something that can really be, what's the word I'm looking for? It can be worked through if you learn to turn the buddhi, the intellect, inward. Okay, so each layer is progressively going deeper, and we've worked on these layers throughout by becoming aware of our physical body, which is the next layer deep, right? Or some people would say that's the outermost layer. The major difference between other traditions and Tantra is that Tantra says that the next layer deep from the physical body is the mind. Okay, some traditions would say prana, the life force, is the next one deep. But in Tantra, the mind, which we've been working on through mantra and just literally sitting, then prana, which is usually people say is the breath, but that's still physical. The breath is physical, but the energy that is left behind as a result of the breath, or the energy that's pulsing, that's creating movement of breath, that is prana, the life force within us. And then we've got this void that some of you experienced and really enjoyed, the transcendent void. And then the core of our being, which includes the void, by the way, but it also includes the fullness. So the void is the emptiness, whereas the fullness is Shakti. It's the latent potential power that exists within us. Potential is the word, really. Okay, and power. That's also the word. So yeah. So we have this emptiness and fullness, but it's like at the core of our being exists all things. And what that experience is like on the level of the mind, I would say, when in meditation, is it feels like you can take in the outer world of senses, sound, sight, and eventually you can meditate with your eyes open, but not be distracted by the senses. Whereas you can take in the sounds of the room, you can take in the colors and the light, you can even be in the flavor of the taste, and you can feel sensationally, right? You can you can be in this, you can smell, you can be in the senses without necessarily, you can take them in without being distracted or having to process them or having judgments or thoughts about them. It's just you're in this experience of everything and at the same time nothing all at once. And that is the core of our being as explained on the level of the mind, okay? The core of our being, I can't explain it intellectually or verbally because really it has to be, you have to go there, right? And that's not to say that you should put emphasis and weight on in your meditation practice to get there. The meditation practice is to sit and whatever comes up is supposed to come up. So there is no goal of meditation. But I'm telling you about these experiences because what will happen if you continue to meditate is you'll have these moments where you tap into the everything and the nothing all at once, the emptiness and the fullness, right? You'll be tapping into these realms within you, and I want you just to be prepared for it so that you understand that this is normal. This is this is the results that you'll gain from it. But if we're trying to be identified with those deeper cores, let's say, if we're identified with the experience that we have within meditation, then meditation becomes just another egoic endeavor. So can we sit for the sake of sitting, right? Just being if a lot of thoughts come up in that meditation, cool. That was the goal then. The goal was to sit and allow thoughts to come in. And eventually you can allow those thoughts to come in. They can, and this is the experience for me on the level of when I get into that state of deep in the core, the thoughts are still happening. The mantra is still happening. And if I want to, I can actually observe it. I could see the mind thinking and the mantra occurring. I can see, my body adjusting or not adjusting. And yet, there I am sitting at the stillness of it all. Okay, this is for me something. I remember we used to meditate in the city with my teacher Rudrani, and there'd be sounds all over, and she'd just be like, she would acknowledge and say, this sound is consciousness taking form, in the form of a bang or in the form of a whatever, and rather than feeling like it was a distraction, we just acknowledged it as just another part of the flowing energy of life that was within us and all around us. So getting to that core, I think, is really important because that transcendent void can be very addicting and important, I think, to sit in at times. That's that kind of that stillness of nothing. But we want to continue to practice and not just get addicted to that one layer, because opening up to the fullness of life exists with all the noise and all the sounds and all the thoughts and all of the, life is full of energy. And so we don't want to just avoid that energy, but we want to find that stillness within that also allows us to take in the fullness, the flow of Shakti, as it's called. Okay? Let's get into it today, and we'll do a nice longer meditation. We'll start today at the top of the mat. Yeah, come to stand. And I also want to just a big shout out to Second Wind Health for sponsoring the immersion, for being a part of the immersion as well, and providing me with yoga mats. And I know many of you are customers of them now, so thank you so much for that. Everyone that has purchased a yoga mat and in support of Second Wind, I'm super grateful. They are a group of great people, one amazing owner, and anyway, I think it's just a great company, and I'm proud to be part of their crew. All right, so we stand in 2 feet. Move the inner thighs and groins back a little bit, so your weight's over your heels and your low back will start to form the arch. Now bring the ears back over the pelvis, and make sure also that you didn't overarch the upper back. So the upper back should be full, behind the heart is open. Broaden the collarbones ever so slightly and turn the palms face forward to help roll the collarbones open and the shoulders outward. On the next inhale, reach the arms to the sun, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow to the earth, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. And step the left foot back as you exhale. Gather strength in the legs, pull your 2 feet toward each other, take a breath in. And press your right heel down into the ground. Your upper back will get full. Lengthen through the top of the head, inhale. As you exhale, step to down dog. Forward to plank pose, inhale. Place the knees down, look forward, lower chaturanga. Just the heart lifts, inhale. Exhale, release. The heart in the hands, inhale. Exhale. Heart, hands, and feet. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Exhale, step forward. Place the hands on the knee, come up and pause. Pull your feet toward each other. Hips up, strong. Press down through the right heel, get strong in the right buttocks, and come up tall. Roll the collarbones wide, palms face out. Lift the gaze, reach the arms up. Keep the legs strong, lift the belly up. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Fingertips forward, inhale, step forward, half lift. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Half lift, inhale. Right foot back, exhale. Up on the fingertips, take a moment and draw the energy inward and upward. So pull your feet toward each other, hips lift. Press down through the heel until your left buttocks fires up. And round the upper back. Get long through the back of the neck. Exhale, down dog. Forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Just the heart, inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Heart and the hands. Exhale. Heart, hands, and feet. Exhale. All fours, inhale. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward. Hands on the front thigh, pause there. Draw your feet toward each other, pull inward and upward. And press through the front heel till your buttocks activates. Lift upward, chest upright. Turn the collarbones open. Strong in the back leg, lift the chest up, arms up. Front heel digs into the earth, so there's a liftness, a lightness to the upper body. One more breath in. Exhale, release hands to the ground. Step forward, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale and bow forward. Inhale, bend the knees, place the hands on the thighs and come upright. Chair pose prep. Move the hips back and press the heels out. As you press the heels out, your outer hips awaken. You can peel the heart upward. Take the arms in your cactus shape. Pull the shoulder blades toward each other. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky and hold. So there are many interpretations of how to disidentify with the physical body. One way is to kind of release all ties to it, and that's something that in certain yoga traditions they stop eating, they stop taking care of their physical body and say that I am not this body. The Tantra tradition doesn't say to do that. Instead, it says that the body is a magnificent thing. Become fully aware of it, and awareness is at the center of your core. So becoming aware of this physical body. This is the goal, to embrace it, to love it, to appreciate the gift of the physical form. But simply recognize that it is, like all things, not permanent and ever changing. And awareness and consciousness are pulsing within it. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Left foot steps back as you exhale. High lunge, inhale, rise up. Warrior two, exhale, open up. Pausing here, draw the feet toward each other, get light. So the idea in Tantra is to embrace the fullness of life, not to run away from it or avoid it. To acknowledge that all the layers are good, that none of them are necessarily bad, that even the ego itself is good. It says, instead of the ego being small, let it identify or re-identify with the bigness, the grandness of life. Tantra says that the ego can become flexible, just like the body, able to shift and change and expand into the fullness of all of life, rather than just being identified with that one thing. It says you can still be identified with the physical body, but also identified with that which is all things, consciousness, chit, the pulse of energy. You can play roles in society and still be identified with that which is pulsing within you and through all things. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. And this in Tantra, inhale to plank, is developing a healthy ego. Chaturanga, exhale. One that serves us rather than us serving it. Hands out to the sides, fingertips. Inhale, lift the front body, feet a little wide. Exhale, soften. Pull the chest through. Maybe the belly lifts up. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Same thing, right leg to the sky. This time we'll just move. Step forward. High lunge, rise. Open warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step forward, half lift. Inhaling. Exhaling to bow. Bend the knees, hands on thighs. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, open up the arms. Reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Half lift, inhale. Step the right foot back. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Exhale, open warrior two. So his idea in Tantra is that all things within consciousness they're in essence a gift. Yes, the things within the conscious world, there is good and bad and things that are sad and ultimately maybe cause us pain. But this is part of the gift of life as a whole. Things that we cannot necessarily change, that there are powers in nature, that all things that are born will die. There is creation, sustenance or sustaining, and dissolution, as it says in Tantra. And to resist that process or to resist the natural rhythm of nature will cause us mental and emotional suffering. That doesn't mean that Tantra is saying that we shouldn't be sad when we lose somebody, or that we shouldn't feel angry. It's saying to recognize that that is part of life and still be sad. Allow the fullness of emotion, the spectrum of emotion to flow through us freely as a gift, that we can experience love, that we can experience someone and something so deeply that we miss them when they're gone. So it's not an avoidance of the hardships, but a recognition that the hardships in life are simply a part of the rhythm of the goodness, the sweetness. Okay, reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale to the ground. Plank, inhale. Chaturanga. Hands wide, feet wide, inhale. Exhale. Stretch the belly long. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Step forward. Rise, high lunge, inhale. Open warrior two. Reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step forward, half lift, inhale. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, chair pose, prep, bend the knees, lift the heart. Exhale, open the arms. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bow. Halfway lift on the inhale. Left foot steps back as you exhale. High lunge, rise up. Take the palms together in front of the heart. Twist to the right. Take the left tricep to the right thigh. Okay, gather strength in the legs. Pull your feet toward each other. Lift into the midsection. Exhale, turn slowly through the belly. Try to lengthen the back of your neck so it's in line with your spine. So with all philosophy, it's easy to adapt it to our ego's identity. It's easy to kind of use it to strengthen our opinions. And so it's important to kind of look at the fullness of the philosophy and to kind of go deeper into it, because typically it's not the philosophy that's flawed, it's the interpretation, the interpreter. So I like to kind of dig in and see both sides of the equation and try my best to put my ego aside, my opinions aside, and see if I can really get into the teaching itself, in spite of how much resistance I might have around an idea, to see if, what if I bring it in? What if I embody that? What if I practice that is a better idea? Okay, unwind slowly. Place the left hand down and turn the back heel down. Take the right forearm to the thigh, left hand to the hip, and turn the chest, slow. Pull your feet toward each other. Maybe slide the right hand down to the inside of the right foot. Take the left hand to the sky. So one of the ways that I see a lot of people kind of taking philosophy from their yoga practice and using it more as a weapon against other people to keep their opinions strong is taking like a nice idea, peace and love and happiness and all this stuff, and then using it against people that are trying to really bring that into the world. If someone's trying to bring awareness to a subject, and we say, no, let's stay peaceful and loving and kind, and someone brings awareness to a subject, both hands to the ground, as, hey, something's wrong here. Step forward, please, halfway lift. Exhale and bow. Interlace the hands, reach the hands behind the back. If someone tries to call out issues that we have either in society, families, in the workplace, and we say, no, let's just keep the love, or keep the peace, keep the sweetness, or whatever. This is called avoidance. Just avoiding what is for the sake of comfort is not the yoga practice at all. So there's a lot of that going around today. People using their comfort to avoid addressing challenges, to avoid accountability. This is, it's hard, of course, but the yoga practice says right away, tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara pranidhana. Tapas is the, release the hands please, inhale halfway, is the fire, the intensity, the rigor of the yoga practice. It says that you must embrace this if you want to practice yoga. You must embrace the discord, the challenges, the intensity if you want to walk this path of sadhana. It doesn't say you have to practice yoga anywhere. It just says if you are to practice yoga, then tapas is something that you need to embrace because it is part of the yoga practice. Step your right foot back. Now, what a lot of people do instead, place the hands on the front knee, is they'll take a teaching like to look at the good in life and they'll distort it through the kleshas, twist of the mind, and then they'll defend that so that they don't have to experience the discords, the challenges, the holding themselves and other people accountable or whatever it might be. Take the right tricep to the left thigh. Place the left hand onto the right. Lift the belly in and up and gently turn the chest. Lengthen the back of the neck. So why I bring this up is as we move through the practice of meditation and pranayama, we certainly can start to feel much better. There's a sweetness and a blissfulness and an easefulness that comes over life. But it can get really addicting to avoid the challenges like the dishes, the washing the clothes and the laundry. So the tantric practice is not to go into avoidance, but rather to use the stillness that and the experience of ease and love and the inward expressions that we experience in life and bring them to the outside world. Slowly unwind. Turn the back heel down. Draw your feet toward each other and slide the left hand to the inside of the foot, right hand to the sky. So Tantra is saying go back into the world. Don't avoid the outer world by retreating to the mountaintop where everything is still. It's saying get so connected to your inner core. The experience of turning your buddhi, the intellect inward, becomes so strong and easeful to you that you can exist in the outer world and still be steady, still be still, and address the challenges that you face in ordinary life. Tantra does not ignore ordinary life, and that's one of the reasons why I choose to align with it, why I think it's such a great practice, because so much of yoga traditions and other spiritual traditions kind of just highlight, release the hand, the ease, just going inward, step forward, and never coming back outward. So this path back outwards, called the path of Viveka. Viveka is compassionate living. It's to take what you gain from the inside and share it with the outer world. To be centered, to be more connected to your core, so that your actions are flowing forth from that
chit, awareness, the flow of consciousness, that the ego, which is, your source of identity, sure, it still has an identity with this body, but it also identifies with something much greater. And that you can be more connected to everyone and everything around you. So if we are a single expression of a bigger whole, and the ego can recognize that, then why would we hurt one another? If someone expresses their pain, why wouldn't we listen to that person? Even if it means that we have to be uncomfortable to hear it. Hands to the hips and rise all the way up.
Okay, so going to the void doesn't mean avoiding. Let's take the right ankle over the left knee. Just get the hips ready. And again, you could always be at a wall. I have a ledge here, which is quite nice. Or you can put your hands on blocks or fingers to the ground. All right, and rise up. And I also want to say that there are time periods where, you're not so centered in the core, and you need to take more time for yourself to be maybe in solidarity, where you need to make time to be by yourself, sometimes going on retreats or I remember my meditation teacher used to say that she would tell her kids that she needs to go meditate for 20 minutes so she can be a better mom and be more loving, and they would understand that, which is fascinating, that she would say, I just need 20 minutes so that I can be more patient and I can be more kind and loving. So, it's like making enough time so that when you come back into the world, it's not just like this, this one time I got into the sweetness of life and then, right back into it. It takes progression. Let's take the other ankle over and sit on down. I remember that for me, when I was stepping into the yoga world and I was stopping drinking alcohol at that time, it had been a while since I drank alcohol, and the first time I stepped into a bar in about like a year or so, I remember it was the first person that was like, "You're not drinking? Why don't you want anything to drink?" And it felt still like I was fragile, like I couldn't necessarily just simply be like, "I don't want to." I had to sort of explain myself, and it was awkward. And then, after some more time, the questions didn't even come up because my energy was different, right? Like I didn't have the insecurity around it, so nobody really asked. And even if they did, it wouldn't bother me because I've got so rooted in that practice. And so, not that I do drink these days, alcohol occasionally, but there was a long period of time where I didn't drink anything. And it took a while to get into that space of being comfortable in my practices and my decisions, my actions, and my choices, and not having to defend them, just simply be in them. Okay, that's sometimes with meditation, you have to do it enough that you feel so rooted in them that you don't feel defensive or feel fragile with that experience. Okay, I had to do that with yoga, meditation, practices like not drinking alcohol or whatever it might have been at the time. Okay, so grab your props. And those of you that are struggling with communicating with people that aren't doing the same practices with you, because you will struggle if you love meditation, pranayama, yoga, whatever. I remember back in the day there was a long struggle. Now people know what yoga is, which is great, but still there are people that aren't practicing it, and It might be hard for you to explain the benefits of yoga or whatever it might be. And it's really powerful just to settle into how it makes you feel and just share that with people from your perspective of what your experience is, how it makes you feel, what are the results that you're gaining. And that's it. You just explain that, and that will be a lot easier for people rather than trying to tell them, why yoga is good for you or whatever it is, or meditation. Hey, Andriana, nice to see you. Yeah, welcome in. Okay, let's find our comfortable seat. We're going to do a couple of pranayamas today. So we'll begin with hands underneath armpits, so Padadhirasana. This pose to balance out the two sides of the nasal passages. Very slow, steady breathing with the sound of a light whisper that we call Ujjayi. Okay, release the hands. We'll be starting with Bhastrika. Bhastrika is the bellows breath, where we willingly inhale and exhale. So voluntary inhale, voluntary exhale, but it's really coming from the movement of the abdomen. So it starts with a sharp exhale, with pulling the belly back, and then pushing the belly forward to allow inhale to come back. Try it a few times just to get the hang of it. It's been a couple weeks since we've done this one, so just try a few rounds of using movement from the belly. And it will be tempting to really pull the air in by the throat. Drive the movement of the breath from the abdomen. The exhales are happening as an occurrence of abdominal engagement, transverse abdominals, maybe even the rectus abdominals, but the inhale is by pressing the diaphragm down and out, and the belly expands. We're going to do 3 rounds of 15. Keep them subtle, but the movement at the abdomen is strong. The breath itself is a little more relaxed. Let's take a full breath in and begin at your own pace. Kumbhak together, inhaling, holding, suspending, and And exhaling. Suspending at the bottom. Inhale, slow. Suspend at the top of the breath. Exhale, slow. Suspend at the bottom. Inhale. Suspend. Exhale. Suspend. Begin another round. 15. Suspend at the top of the breath when you're complete. Exhale. Gentle suspension at the bottom. Last round of Bhastrika. Inhale. Kumbhaka at the top. Kumbhaka at the bottom. Two more rounds. Moving into Nadi Shodhana. So Nadi Shodhana, the index and middle finger fold into the palm. Right thumb gently closes the right nostril. Sorry, not yet. Inhale fully. Right thumb over right nostril. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Linger at the top. Switch the fingers. Exhale through the right. Linger at the bottom. Inhale through the right. Linger at the top. Exhale through the left. Linger at the bottom. Inhale through the left. Linger at the top. Exhale through the right. Linger at the bottom. Inhale through the right. Linger. Left. Release your hand to your lap. Inhale through both sides. Linger at the top. Exhale. Sustain. Inhale. Sustain. Exhale. Right thumb to right nostril. Inhale through the left. Suspend at the top. Exhale through the right. Continue on your own time. That means you can lengthen the breath or shorten it according to your requirements. Keep it soft and steady. Keep focusing on feeling more and more connected to the energy that flows through you. When you're done, you do 3 rounds through the nose. Kumbhaka's at the top and the bottom. At your own pace. readjustment of the posture as necessary. Maybe the hands come back and the shoulders open. Maybe the pelvis tips a little bit. Check in with the head lining over the pelvis. For some of you, you might already be in that sweet space between sleep and wake. Yogis call it samadhi. At the core of your being might be illuminated awareness and bliss, experience of the innermost part of you might be at the forefront. However, if what you are experiencing is mental chatter and thoughts and emotions and distractions, then it's time now to use the mantra. But I will reiterate, if you are already in deep, then don't come out for the mantra, just be where you are. And if you get pulled into the outer layers of the mind or body, then use the mantra or breath to move back inward. You can start the mantra out loud, which will stimulate the vagus nerve, helping you to come into that more moon channel, the lunar rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system is stimulated when we do the mantra out loud and use the vibration. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 to the core of all that is, taking in everything and nothing all at once. And if you lose your way, Om Namah Shivaya. That's all. Point the mind inward. Om Namah Shivaya. observe your body. And the breath that is flowing through it. Deepen your breath. With love, begin to slowly awaken fingers and toes, bringing breath through the body. Move in any way that feels appropriate for you. Try to awaken the wrist and the ankles. Place the hands at heart center. Create a little heat. Hands over the eyes and take a breath in. Hands over the heart. Enjoy a breath. Hands over the abdomen. Breathe in. And massage your legs. Make sure you get some connection down to your feet. Take a moment to close this experience with one another by sealing the practice with the right and the left palms coming together, the two sides of our energies meeting at the center. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for participating in this experience globally. taking the time to practice getting aware of your physical body, aware of the mind, aware of the energy that's flowing through you, life force, prana, and ultimately aware of awareness itself. That at the very core of our being is a universal pulse of energy through me, through you, through all things. Thank you for tapping into it and moving towards it. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your practice. Namaste. All right, I want to thank also my teacher Rudrani for passing these teachings down to us that I have the opportunity to share. Because of my time that I spent with Rudrani. Second Wind Health, thank you for sponsoring the immersion, and all of you that took the time to be here, spent the money, whatever it was that, asked your kids to give you space, your husband or wife to take care of the kids, or took off from work or whatever it is, moved things around in order to practice. Thank you for your efforts. It means something to you and to the world and to me, so amazing. Coming up, we have the arm balance immersion, which starts on Thursday. We're gonna go towards the more playful and joyful end of the spectrum, while still focusing in on getting fully aware of our body and, of course, as you know, the mind as well. If you're looking to continue practicing meditation in particular, I do have a course called The Heart that teaches philosophy, meditation, pranayama. So this course, if you go to the 300-hour tab on my website, if you're on mobile right now, it's the drop-down menu, click on the 300-hour training. Also, or if you're on desktop, you can see it right at the top. The course called The Heart is the fully educational course on all the philosophy, but we go in deep detail. So they teach you the Yoga Sutras and Tantra of the Yoga. Tantra of the Yoga Sutras is the book that we use. Tantra Illuminated is the other book that we use, and we go into the education around all of the philosophies that we sort of touched upon this immersion. I also teach pranayama, breath work in that. About 7 or 8 different breath works, as well as chanting, and we get into meditation practices, a little bit elongated meditation practices using the various pranayamas and such. So it's a really great training. It is detailed, it is in-depth. So if you're really wanting to take it to the next level, then that's the direction I would go. Click on the 300-hour tab. It's all the way at the bottom. You'll see the option to sign up for The Heart separately from the 300-hour training. All right, everybody, and you don't have to be a teacher to take it, okay? There is elements of teaching in there that if you're not a teacher, you might not be interested in, but you can just skip over those pieces of the puzzle, and the rest of the training is very valuable. Okay, so thanks so much, everyone. Take care of yourselves, be well, and look forward to seeing you. We start on Thursday for the arm balance immersion. Goodbye. Thank you, Grace. Nice to have you here in the immersion. Nina, Andriana, Susanna, Nina, other Nina, Marissa. Many thanks. Nice that Nina and Andriana, you're both doing Mindfully Move. Beautiful. With Rebecca. Cool. Real quick also, check out Rebecca Doring, who has meditation membership site. Many of you know that already since you're in the teacher trainings with me. All right, everyone, take care of yourself, be well, and bye-bye. Nice to have you in the chat. Thanks, Ivan.